This conference will now be recorded.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। अल हय्युल कय्यूम अली अल्लाह, 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 अल हय्युल कय्यूम अली अल्लाह। अल्लाहुम्मा लक सुजूदी व ताअती, शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। या अली मदद अजीज सर।
या अली मदद, या अली मदद। Give me 1 second.
Yes, Salim bhai said he is still driving, so it will take few minutes for him to.
Ji, no problem. I cannot turn on my video for some reason. चले, कोई बात नहीं है। तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद। Can you confirm you can see my screen?
Yes, it says Sunday IS group. Yes, Surah Muhammad. Yes.
Okay. शुक्रान अल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are. And good morning to those who are joining us from India, Pakistan. आज हम सूरह मोहम्मद सूरह number 47, this ayat which we have recited or have referred to many times over the years, but never ever we have went through in this sequence, in the order that we are going today. Normally, we recite or refer to Surah Muhammad 47, ayat number 7, and very once in a while, ayat number 6. But inshallah, today we will cover 8 ayat, and I would ask you to especially pay attention to the comparison which is given in some of these ayat. So let's start with Mullah's Mubarak name and blessed name, Nur Maulana Shah Karim Al Husaini, Hazir Imam, Ya Maulay Mehrban, Madad Farma, Alayul Qayyum, Ali Allah, Alayul Qayyum, Ali Allah, Madad Farma, Ya Maulay Mehrban, Tawfiq, Tahid, हिम्मत व यारी मौला. या मौला हमारे साथ रहना मौला. अपना मुबारक हाथ हमारे कंधों पे रखना. कीप इट ऑन आवर शोल्डर मौला, ताकि हम कुछ इल्मी काम कर सके मौला. या मौला मेहरबान, तेरी शफकत, तेरी मेहरबानी, तेरे खानावदान, तेरी रहमत, मर्सी के बगैर we cannot do anything Mola, nothing Mola. Ya Mola Mehrban, we need your help, Mola. Stay close to us Mola, keep your hand on our shoulder Mola. Ya Mola, give us Tawfiq and Tahid so we may be able to do this ilmi understanding of this ayat. What a blessed name of this surah. This surah, Surah Muhammad, has the blessed name of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasul, the last prophet, the dear prophet to Allah. May all be peace be upon him, and on through him and behind him. May Allah bless us with the same inamat, rewards, ilm, marifat, wa hikmat, inshallah. I hope you have looked at this ayat in your free time, but I have this ayat in front of us on the screen. What you will see, the ayat, actual ayat, transliteration right under the Arabic words, and translation under that.
Aziz, sir, sorry to interrupt you, but is this session going to be recorded?
Yes. Is it being recorded right now, I believe? Yes. It says
Yes,
recording
sir.
in progress.
Recorded, yeah.
So Surah number 47, ayat number 1. So we will read 1 and then we will read 2 and then we will have some understanding of this ayat and a comparison. So those who disbelieved and prevented others from Allah's way, He, the Allah, has rendered their deeds in vain. यानी कि वो जो ईमान नहीं लाए हैं और दूसरों को भी इस रास्ते यानी कि खुदा के रास्ते या सिरातल मुस्तकीम से हटाते हैं, उनके अमाल को खुदावन ताला नहीं गिनेगा. Ayat number 2. And those who believed and then did righteous deeds and believed in that which is revealed to Muhammad, and it is the truth that has come from their Lord. He will write off their evil deeds and will set aright their state of affairs. दूसरी आयत में, और जो ईमान लाए हैं, अच्छे अमाल करते हैं और उस पर यकीन करते हैं जो नाजिल हुआ मोहम्मद मुस्तफ़ा पर, क्योंकि वही हक है, और उनके गुनाहों को खुदावन ताला इग्नोर करेंगे और उनके कदम जमा देगा. So let's look at this 2 ayat. What do we see? If you remember, about a week or so ago, we had taken 3 ayats from 3 different surahs and we had connected them. We had connected Surah Tawbah 32 with Surah Tarim number 8 and Surah Hadith number 12. On the same flow, taking the same approach. Today, we are connecting the ayat, the negative ayat and positive ayat from the same surah, surah number 47, ayat number 1 and 2. So ayat number 1 tells us what? Those who does not believe. What did you find in this one line? Who does not believe? Are we talking about Hindus, Jewish, Christians, Muslims? Because Quran was revealed and is the book for whom? Hindu does not read this. Jewish and Christian do not care for this. Who else do we have left who is reading the Quran? So those who is reading the Quran and those who does not believe. Why would they not believe? Do we have a single Muslim who would say that I am a Muslim, I do believe in Islam, I believe in Allah, I believe in Muhammad, and I believe in his book, but then I don't believe? It does not make sense. That's illogical thought, illogical talk. So how do we understand that? Those who does not believe, and then due to the ill concepts, they turn others away from the right path. वो जिनको जो कुरान तो पढ़ते हैं लेकिन उस पर यकीन नहीं करते हैं कि जो वो पढ़ रहे हैं, उसकी क्या वजह है? क्योंकि उनके जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स है वो गलत है. They read the Quran. Why would they read the Quran and not believe what they are reading? It is due to their ill concepts. And because of that, they turn others away from the right path. Then, even their other good deeds will not be accepted and would be unproductive. Now, let's say that there are this person we are talking about, or this group of people, they are very generous, very good people, but due to the ill concept, due to the lack of light, nur, and understanding and interpretation, they do not believe in what they are reading, and therefore they are taking away or moving away others. Along with them, they are also taking the others away from the right path. But on the other hand, they are good, genuinely good human, good people. Then Allah says, even their good deeds will not be accepted. It will be very unproductive. It will not have any reward for that. So what did they do wrong? Remember, they did have said the kalima, they accepted Islam, but then they did not believe in what they are reading. And it is not that they are not believing what they are reading, it is due to the ill concept. It is due to the ill concept. And that is very important. And we have been walking on that path, on correcting our concepts, our belief. Because what we thought was right, but in the light of the ilm, in the light of the interpretation, and in the light of the batin, with the Nur-e-Imam, we understood that what we had believed before, it was incorrect. It was ill concept because we didn't understand. So what we have been doing, we have been correcting our concepts throughout last couple of years. Then we moved from the ilm to the Jamaat Khana, and we corrected so many more concepts regarding the Jamaat Khana and our rites and ritual. Then we came into the Imam Shanasi, and we understood and we corrected so many other ill concepts regarding understanding and recognizing the Imam. Ayat number 2 is opposite of ayat number 1, and we will highlight a couple of points there. Those who believed and did the righteous deeds and the truth from their Lord, then He will write off their evil deeds. He, Allah, will write off their evil deeds and will set aright their state of affairs. अब यहाँ पर क्या देखा? What do we see here? So those who have believed in the Zahir, the Tanzil, and on the Batin of the Quran, of the Ayat. Now they have become truly believer because they believed in the Tanzil, what is written, and the Tawil, what is not written but is Batin, and did righteous deed. Righteous deed are of few different kinds. Number one, followed Allah, Rasul, the book, and those who are amongst us, the Rasikun fi ilm, Aimae Tairin. So that was number one good deed which we have done on top of all other good deeds. Because without this one single, most purified, most highest deed, that is the most highest righteous deed, without that righteous deed, you already notice none other good deeds will be accepted. None other good deeds will be accepted. Because we have believed in the Imam, and that was the highest righteous deed we have ever done. And then the truth from their Lord, what has been revealed, what has been given to us, what is given to us in the form of Tanzil, and what has been given to us in form of Tawil, the Batin. If we do that, then Allah said, He will write off our evil deeds. Now, look at the difference. Their good deeds will not be accepted. You see that? Their good deed will not be accepted. But when Mu'min, even if he does the evil, bad deeds, it will be ignored. Look at the balance. Those who does not believe, their righteous deed, good deeds will not be accepted. Those who have believed, even their evil deeds will be ignored and forgiven. And in return, will be set affirm their state, aright their state of affairs. और उनके जो काम होंगे उसके अंदर उसको मजबूत कर देगा, उसको दुरुस्त कर देगा. So even if we are little bit off the line, He will bring us back on the correct path, and He will make our deeds correct deed. He will make our action correct. Now, whatever we do, that would be the truth, and that would be the haqq. That would be the final truth. We all heard of Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's prayer for Mola Ali. Oh Allah, turn the truth behind Ali. जिस रास्ते पे अली जाता है, सच्चाई को उसके पीछे पीछे कर देना. On whichever path Ali walks, turn the truth behind him. And if we are the believers and walking behind the Ali, then the truth will be with us, because we are with Ali and truth is with Ali. So we saw the two comparisons, one a negative and one a positive. Now, ayat number 3 is the conclusion of this two ayat we just read. Ayat number 3. why disbelievers are the way they are. That is the conclusion. Why are they the way they are? That is because the disbelievers have followed the lies. And the word we are looking for is this word, al-batil, in the Arabic right here. And this is the word untruth. That is because the disbelievers have followed the lies. We will come to who had lied to them, who have lied to them. That is because disbelievers have followed the lies, while the believers have followed the truth from their Lord. This is how Allah explains their situation to the al-nas, the common, to the people. Now let's try to understand the conclusion and the understanding why are they the way they are and why the believers are the way they are. Because the disbelievers have followed the lie. Why would anyone would lie about the Quran? Why would anyone will make up any lies about Prophet Muhammad when they believed in him? And why would anyone will make a lie about Allah when they are the believers? Remember, we're still talking about those who believe in Allah, who believe in Rasul, who believe in Quran. But then they do not believe in Ulil Amr Minkum. And they lie about that. So when Allah said that believe me, follow me. Believe in Muhammad and follow him. And believe in Ulil Amr and follow him. So when they said there is no Ulil Amr, there are no Imams, and Ali is not a Wasi and Wali of the book, of the Rasul, and of Allah. With that lie, what they said, that what Muhammad had told me about Ali was a lie. That was a lie. And then in return, Nazbillah, they said what Allah had said about Muhammad and Ali is a lie. And that was the biggest lie which was spoken on the very first day after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That we do not need Ali. Ali was not the Wasi and Wali, and he is not the Waris Khalifa of the Quran, of the Rasul, and of the Allah toward the Ummah, toward the people. So that was the biggest lie which disbeliever followed. On the other hand, while the believers have followed the truth from Allah. So when they follow the truth from Allah, they follow the truth from Muhammad, and they follow the truth from Ali, the Wali Rasul and Wali Allah. And this is how Allah explained their situation to the people. Remember, God is constantly giving us a hint who he is speaking about. Those who are reading the Quran. Because he is directly talking to them. Directly talking to them. Because others don't care and they don't believe and they have never accepted Quran or the Rasul. In other words, this is not about them. It's not about them. Ayat number 4. This ayat truly will require some attention. All right, so let's read this. So when you encounter those who disbelieve, then aim at or striking the neck. Then striking the neck until when you have broken their strength thoroughly. Then tie fast the bond, captive them. Then choose to set them free, either as a favor or after receiving fine. And until they, meaning fighters, throw down their arms. That is the right way. And if Allah willed, He would have Himself taken the vengeance upon them, but used you so that He may test some of you through some others. And those who are killed in the way of Allah, He will never let their deeds go in vain. This was ayat number 4, a big ayat. Like I said, explanation of ayat number 4 would need extra attention. Extra attention. So what this Nachis had done, I have made some question. So our extra attention, our focus can be drawn to the selected words and phrases. Number 1, when you encounter those who does not believe, how and why? How would we know who does not believe? How and when will we know that they do not believe? Second, striking the necks. For what reason? And I try to show this word, the neck, right here. This word right there. गर्दन को कहते हैं, ये गर्दन, neck, गर्दन. Let me see if I can get to this. This word right there. Al-Rakab. Al-Rakab. Neck. Ye part. Gardan. Okay. When you, sorry, word Rakabi or Al-Rakabi, the one in simple translation, literal translation, the neck or gardan. But if you look further, where something is hold, यानी कि गर्दन पर जो चीज रखी गई है, what is this neck is holding? गर्दन क्या होल्ड कर रहा है, क्या चीज रखी है गर्दन पर? हमारा सर रखा गया है गर्दन पर. Where something is hold, a placeholder, shelf, or place to hold. We are talking about that word. Gardan, neck, rikabi or al-rikabi in Arabic. This is same word प्लेट के लिए भी यूज होता है जिसके अंदर आप खाना होल्ड करते हो. रकाबी बोलते हैं. आपने सुना होगा शुभ उर्दू के अंदर रकाबी जिसके अंदर खाना हम होल्ड करते हैं. थाला जिसको बोलते हैं हम. Where we keep our food or hold our food. Rakabi. Same word for our neck or gardan. So question, striking the necks, for what reason? Once you have broken the neck, then person is dead, correct? Because that's what it says, when you come to them, strike them until they lose their strength. Then they are dead. But then it says, then what strength is needed to be broken? Question, right? Then what is the need to be captured? Why would you capture a dead person? Then what ransom can be collected? Remember the word was fine, receiving fine. There's another word for ransom. What ransom can be collected? Or what deal can be made? Or what concessions can be made? What arms says when they lay down their arms, right here, when they throw or lay down their arms, what arms says until they lay down their arms? What arm are we talking about? And the number E, or the fifth, that is the right way. So question is, what is the right way? That is the question. What is the right way? Number 4, Allah uses you for this task. What is that task? Why did Allah not revenge himself, but he chose you, but he used you? For what reason? What was his task? Number 5, test. What is the test and how do we understand that? Because Allah said, so he may test some of you through some others. So what was this test? Number 6, those who are slain in Allah's way, how do we understand which way is that? On which way some are slain in Allah's way? Which way is that? How do we understand that? He will never let the deeds go in vain. So let's try to understand this. This will take the bulk of our time because this was the key ayat between these 8 ayat. So let's come and try to understand step by step, 6 steps. Number 1, it says when you encounter them, the disbelievers, then strike them on their neck. This is the very ayat those who like to unjustly call others kafirs, infidel, and like to either kill them or harm them. They do not discriminate between the Muslims, other Ahl Kitab, or other non-Ahl Kitab. Meaning, because whatever they believe in, whoever does not believe in their eyes are kafir, infidel, and they use this very ayat to attack them unjustly, unnecessary, to either kill them or to harm them. They use this very ayat. Once we understand this ayat, it will help us, especially the Imam Shanasan. So you know how wrong their belief is, their understanding of the Quran is, and how unjustly wrong they are doing against other Muslims, against people of the book, and other outside the Ahl Kitab. So they use this ayah. So let's try to understand that. So when you run into those unbelievers, then first you have to identify them. How would you identify that this person is believer or not believer? If you are making a note, I'm going to give you so easy example that you will instantly be able to tell who are believers and who are not believers. Those who are not believers, they will call other Muslims kafir. Those who are disbelievers, they will call other Muslims kafir. Because Muslim cannot be kafir, because they are Muslims. That is the first symbol of disbelievers. So what do they not believe in? Remember, they are Muslim. They are not believing in the Quran because they are not understanding the Quran, because they are with the ill concept, because they are follow the lie. And that is what makes them disbelievers. So when they are disbeliever, what do? They call other disbelievers. You will not find a smiley, a true follower of Imam, calling anyone kafir or disbeliever. If you find any smiley, then this ayat will apply to them. But you will normally will not find, because that is the one thing we do not do according to Imam's Farman. Never ever say anything bad about other religion, nor about your dini bhai bain. That is a Farman. So if we are believers, then we will never do that, and we will never be counted as disbelievers. That's the number one symbol, easy symbol of who are disbelievers. They call other Muslims kafir. All right. Now let's try to understand point number 2. Striking the neck. And there are some writings you will find in our Hudud-e-Din's literature, and rightly so, that neck is that center between the 5 senses, or the wajh, our face, which have all of our 5 senses: the eyesight, the hearing, the smell, the taste, and the touch. Also, this is the bottleneck or the vessel between the akal, intellect, and the ruh, the soul. So let's talk about the word rikabi. Why so much emphasis was put on this word. Why? Because the neck part holds either beliefs or not beliefs, holds the iman or not iman, holds the intellect, understanding, tawil, logic, or not have it. So this is the plate, this is the rikabi that holds all the logic, all the beliefs, all the concepts, all the understanding. So if someone has illogical misunderstanding, bad thoughts, lies, then if you hit over here and move what is holding all these ill concepts, then those ill concepts will fall out. Now, how do we understand this? Because we are not taking what I'm saying literally, are we? What it means was that when you hit someone where all things are fit, meaning you are trying to knock out the illogical sense out of them. And we will talk about how we will do that. We will talk about that in a minute. But when you hit that, so if a plate has bad food, what do? You knock the plate into the trash can and drop all the bad food which is not good for you. So when you hit on the neck, on the rakabi, the placeholder of all the illogical, bad thinking, ill concepts, the lies, misunderstandings, then what you are doing, you are dumping or trying to get rid of all of that ill concepts. Now, number 3. And here we will learn how can we do that and what is the logic behind this ayat. Then it says in the ayat, once you have broken the neck, then try to break whatever strength they have left. Let me tell you, if you physically behead someone, kill someone, or hurt someone, and on the neck, they will die. There will be no strength left. Unless you are choking them. Unless you are choking them. Keep that in mind. Unless you are choking them. Then you have to choke them enough until their strength is broken. Did you see that? Striking the neck compared to choking the neck. Keep that in mind. We'll come to the understanding in a minute. Then it says, once you have broken their neck, they have died, or you have choked them until all the strength is gone, again they have died. Then what is the need of capturing them? Why would you capture a dead body? So what it means, they have broken, they have died, or we have just killed all the illogical lies, misunderstanding, ill concepts out of them. So now capture their intellect, their attention. Does everybody understand now? We still haven't talked about how we're going to do that. But once you have done that, capture their attention, capture their intellect. And then you have two choices. Once you have their attention, you have two choices. Either you let them go. Just be nice to them and let them go. Or make a deal with them. Make a deal with them. Make consensus with them before you let them go. First you can do is just let them go. And it says right there in the ayat that you can just let them go as a favor. This very first line right here. As a favor, you can let them go. But if you do keep them, then make a deal or make some consensus before you let them go. Number D was when they lay down their arms, when they let go of their false arguments, when they let go of their ill concept, and when they let go of their disbelief and the misunderstanding, meaning they have laid down their arms. Their false argument is their tool which they use against the believers. Matter of fact, they use the same lies, the same false arguments to try to blow away Imam's Noor, Momin's Noor, and Allah's Noor. So when they let go of those false arguments, then what do? You make consensus, you make a deal, and that is the right thing to do. That is haqq, that is truth. Before we go any further on number 4, 5, and 6, so far what we have talked about, that when you come on those who have not believed, and when you find them, and remember, we are not talking about arguing with those who are not in our tariqah, number 1. Number 2, even within our tariqah, we do not argue with those who do not want to have a logical and a human debate with us. But when you do have a debate with them, then instantly strike where it hurts on their neck, meaning kill all their ill concept with your ilm and with your logic and with truth. Ilm, logic, and truth. Truth part comes with the references. Show them the truth in the Quran, in the ilm. With ilm, logic, and truth. Truth, references. And once you have captured them, capture their attention, when you see they are focused and they have let go of their false arguments, lies, then what consensus are you going to make? What deal are you going to make? You have two choices. You can just let them go empty-handed, or the deal you're going to make is, if you let go of your lies, in return, I will teach you the truth. That's the consensus. You take their lies out, and in return, you give them the ilm, the logic, and the truth. When do you do that? When they have laid down their arms, meaning he or she is no longer involved in argument, false argument, or the lies. And this only when they have laid down their arms of the false argument, of the lies. And that is the right way. That is the haqq. That is the truth. That would be the right thing to do. Meaning, you do not hurt them, and you do not disrespect them. Matter of fact, you talk to them as a gentleman, person of the ilm and logic, without the argument. It's a debate, a friendly debate, may I add, respectful debate. And then that is the right way of doing things. Now, 4, 5, 6, it would be a little bit easier for us now with this understanding. Number 4, Allah uses you for this task. How come He did not just teach them directly? Or how come Allah just did not destroy them? When they disbelieve in Allah, in the Rasul, and the Ulil Amr, Allah could have just destroyed them, as He has destroyed many others before them. How come Allah did not do that? No. He wanted to give you opportunity, and He wanted to give them opportunity, so they can see who are with the ilm and logic, and you can see and compare who are without the ilm and without the logic and without the truth. That is the test for you, and that is the test for them. Your test is not to judge them. Their test is to see if they can follow you. Test is two-way. So He may test you and test others. The last part, those who are slain. Now, अब यहाँ पर थोड़ा मैं उर्दू के अंदर एक लाइन बयान कर दूं, और जो शहीद है, जो मार्टर्ड है, जो मरे हुए हैं, लेकिन जो अल्लाह की राह में मरते हैं, शहीद होते हैं. Back to English. Those who are slain in Allah's way, who has been martyred, or who have died in Allah's way. And there are few different ways one can die in Allah's way. Die for the truth. Die every day, little by little, to become close to Allah. Die by killing your carnal soul. And then die in the way of Allah in a holy, sanctioned war by the Imam or Rasul. Any other war which is not sanctioned by the Imam and Rasul are not a holy war. Today, our holy war is the war with the pen and knowledge. The war of the ilm, logic, and the truth. So those who are fighting this war, and when they die, not physically, but step by step through carnal soul, then Allah will accept their deed, their righteous deed, what they have done on the way of Allah, and He will not let their deed go to vain. In this part, there is another understanding. When you debate, if you debate, even if you cannot convince them or they do not see your way, and you feel that you have lost the debate, Allah will not let your good deeds go to vain. Remember that. Remember that. Ayat number 5. How does He help you or guide you to do all what we just talked about? If this is the ilmi war, how will Allah will guide you? So those who are believer, He will guide them and He will set aright their state of affairs. जो believers है वो अल्लाह उसको इल्म, हिदायत और नूर से गाइड करता है. How does He guide them? With the ilm, with the iman, and with the nur. And then whatever He does, that is the correct thing to do, because that is the right way of doing things. आपने देखा, if those who fight and kill and harm others, that is not the way. That is not the way. This is the way. This is the way that you should follow and fight with ilm, logic, and truth. This is how you do it. And Allah will guide you. He will guide you. Now, question is, once He guides you, when He guides you, what does He do? And where does He take you? And when He guides you and you are on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, He will admit them into the paradise He has made known to them. This is the ayat we have talked about many times. वो उनको उन जन्नतों में दाखिल करेगा जिसका उसको पहले से शनासा कर रखा है. He will admit them into the paradise which will be known to them ahead of time. They would have seen this paradise will be near them, and they will enter into their paradise because they were the righteous. They did the right deed because they were the guided. They were the believers, and they walked on the path of Allah. They walked on the path of Allah. Condition. Ayat number 7 has a condition for the believers. All those who have believed. We already understand who are the believers, who Allah is speaking to. Oh, my spiritual children, if you help me, I will help you, and I will make your foothold firm. 3 questions. How can we help Allah? How does He help us? And how would He make us firm? And on what? We can help Him by following on His farman. Understanding ilm, learning, understanding ilm according to His farman, according to the Quran, according to the guidance. We help him. When we do that, he helps us in many ways. First, he keeps our focus on the ilm. He helps us understand the ilm, and then he helps us digest the ilm. Then he helps us follow on their ilmi path. And that is how he make our foot firm on Sirat al-Mustaqim. The final ayat, number 8. And this is about the disbelievers. And for those who disbelieve, for them is destruction, and he has rendered their deeds vain. There is a comparison between ayat number 7 and 8, between believers and disbelievers, between Allah's help and Allah's dislike. So what is the comparison? Those who believed and helped Allah, Allah will help them and make them firm on His way, on Sirat al-Mustaqim, versus those who does not believe. The loss is there, and their all good deeds would not be counted. So those who does not believe, the loss is there, and their all good deeds would not be counted. So this is the end of our 8 ayat. Let's open the floor for comments or questions. G. Any comments, question?
Ali Madad sir.
Yeah, Ali Madad.
Sir, this ayat, it says when the disbelievers try to take you away from Allah, you need to break their neck by the knowledge, isn't it? But if
Yes.
those who don't have that much knowledge, I will say we will better follow the Farman of Sultan Muhammad Shah. Bedin wala thi na dosti achhi na dusmani achhi. That was for me, sir, because I am not that much in this knowledge. I have started learning the Quran from attending all your sessions and Niyamatapa sessions and everything. But still, I am not that firm that I will discuss this with anybody and break their neck. So I better stay away from them. This is
Okay.
my personal experience, sir. That's
G.
why. Just a comment, sir. Okay, thank you so
G.
much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
So let me counter the comment, and that is, initially and first of all, we do not argue. And when we are explaining, not arguing, then even then we should keep Imam's Farman in mind. Number 1, respectful. Be respectful. Number 2, explain once, explain twice, explain thrice, and then leave them to be. That is Imam's Farman Golden Jubilee. We do not argue with others or even amongst ourselves. But when there is a discussion, and what was the discussion? A fair, human, respectful discussion. And then you only explain what you know. What you do not know, refer them to those who knows. Because this is their job, not your job. If we are respectful, then there is no harm. If debate becomes rough, outside the respect, stop and leave. Don't feel that you have been defeated. There is no winning or losing in a debate. Debate is a conversation. इसको कहते हैं इल्मी तबादला, exchange of thoughts. That's it. That's all we are allowed to do. Thank you. Any other comments or question?
So I have a comment.
Ji.
So one of the things I really enjoyed about this particular understanding or looking at these verses is this idea that when we take it extremely literally, which as many Muslims would, or many readers would, there's a point here where we understand that it cannot be taken literal. Like, it does not make sense that you mentioned that when you strike someone's neck, the way the verses are presented, it would be odd to say to strike their neck, and then it continues to talk about rounding them up, or making the bound, binding them, and then either a grace or ransom. The verse order seems to be a little bit strange here, and this is the particular reason or specific reason that this very verse has been commented upon in some Ismaili literature, which says that this is why it's not meant to be taken in that literal sense of any physical jihad, that you should go and strike someone on their neck, because then the rest of the verse would be a pretty silly scene to be trying to set somebody free who's already have the neck struck. So the idea here is that this is a way to understand that what's going on here is much larger than the physical jihad, which is only for a certain time and place anyways. But this is more about to do with intellectual discussion, like you said, amongst people who are willingly engaging in that level of respectful discussion. So this is not about physically striking the neck, but it's actually more to do with attacking that part which is the most relevant of your opponent's knowledge. And in some ways we can even think about it as not to get this, even in today, this verse will still be, I think, specifically related only to those who are engaged in this type of work, which is less and less today. This is probably more in the time when the dawah was active, but even today sometimes there could be debate, right? Friendly debate. But a common feature of debate sometimes is people get into personal attacks, right? You attack people's some things that have nothing to do with the actual argument, with the actual debate. And if you think about this verse where it says to strike at the neck, which is where the place of the actual beliefs, what is most critical, is held, that's where you want to focus on, rather than attacking someone's character and all other types of things that are nonsense. So you stick to the knowledge, stick to the point, and find those points which are most critical to show that that person's view is not correct. And one more thing I think sometimes we don't necessarily always see right away is that the aim here is not, I think, to humiliate the other person, but is to actually show them that this point that they've made, or everything which is resting on these points, if these foundational points are somehow illogical or incorrect, then that person has no more room to maneuver, right? There's no more strength, because now they cannot rely on that previous knowledge. So they themselves become open and ready to perhaps accept a different viewpoint, or learn a new way. So I think there's a lot of things in this verse which are interesting for us, even in terms of understanding how the physical or the normal way it's normally understood when we hear things about Islam, but people say that this is a violent religion or whatever. So all these things, there's other viewpoints about this verse which is articulated from people who have the understanding of the ta'wil. So I think that's an interesting point to keep in mind.
I'd like to add one thing to your comment, and I have highlighted it, that most people use this very ayat for vengeance. बदला लेने के लिए इस आयत को यूज करते हैं. And Allah directly has given them order not to do so. Because if Allah willed, He would have Himself taken vengeance upon them. You see, we cannot do this. So if you have an ilm, don't use that to take vengeance against those who have done harm to you, to make them look down or make them, disrespectful in the eyes of others. Don't do that. That is not the point, and one should not do that. Vengeance is not allowed. It's not allowed. G. Any other comments or question?
Ya Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
So Aziz sir, when God says in 47:6 that it will admit them into paradise, which He has announced for them. So we know there are various levels of paradise. So in this verse, is God saying the admission to the final paradise of Fanafi Imam, Bagavi Imam, and Serfi Imam?
No. First, I wanted to say no. So the reason I wanted to say no, because this is true for all levels. And we do not have to jump to the highest level, because those levels are normally, to Garib like us, are unknown paradise. So how about we go from Momin to Mustajib to Mazun to Dai. So the paradise to us would be the paradise of Dai, which is near us, known to us, shown to us. And that is the paradise we will be entered in. We can enter their paradise with the ilm today, with the marifat tomorrow, or when we physically die the day after. Then there are paradise of Hujjat and then Imam. So where you started was from Imam. So the good learning or journeying I would say would be when we take step by step progress. So nearest and known paradise to us is whichever is near to us. So wherever your level is, when we jump to the Imam, what we are saying without saying it, and that can be dangerous, that we are at the level of Pir, Hujjat, and the nearest and most recognized paradise is paradise of the Imam. At the higher understanding, Imam is the living paradise, and if we have the recognition of Imam, then that is true that we will be entered into the Imam's paradise. But Fanafi Imam is way, way away further, because within the Imam's paradise, again, there are steps. There are steps. G.
I have another thought or question.
G.
So in the verses that we're speaking about, those who are slain in the way of Allah, that He will guide them and improve their condition. There is a hadith I recall where it said, what the Prophet said, that every Mormon man is a shaheed, and every Mormina, meaning every Mormon woman, is a hawra. Now, if that's the case, every Mormon man, and if we have, let's say, if we take the privilege to say that Ismailis should be considered themselves as Mormons because they have the Amir al-Mu'minin in front of them and recognize Amir al-Mu'minin. So in that case, would that not then suggest that every Ismaili, regardless of anything else, I mean, when I say every Ismaili, we would mean those who practice the faith of Ismailism, but it's not up to us to know and judge another Ismaili, but in general or in theory, technically, every Ismaili regardless if they're advanced a lot, advanced a little, advanced relative to their own cause, when they die a natural death, wouldn't they also be considered as shaheed, as a man or a woman being hawra, because they're slain on the path of God, meaning that they're already following the imam that's already following the path of God, and they die? Could they not be considered shaheed? In particular, the fact that we have another verse that says that those who are slain in the way of Allah, they are with their Lord receiving provision, which is it's a nice concept, because there the provision, inshallah, would be in terms of spiritual nourishment, after one passes. So I was wondering what were your thoughts on that? That could we consider just anybody who dies within our tariqah potentially having that level of a shaheed?
Yes, we can do that. Having said that they have been guided and they are on the right path, and they have recognized the paradise, the imam, and fulfilled this condition of helping Allah. You see that? Because Allah had put a condition on who are the shoda. Shoda, witness. Who can be witness? Who are near him. Can someone be witness from far away? You see, the word shoda means witness, and witness means someone who's near to him. Someone who's near to him. Someone who's been guided, is on the straight path. The one who has been helped by Allah because they have helped them. So answer to your question is yes, if they have met the conditions. G.
Yali Madad, sir.
Yani Madad.
Okay, I was earlier reading this ayats as mentioned, and when I came to this particular ayat, I was so confused. I said, wow, what's this? I think I didn't understand actually what's happening, but after listening to this lecture, now it makes sense to me that what was this ayat about. Before, if I hadn't attended these classes, I would be very confused. Just a comment.
Thank you. That is a great way of, that's a good comment, by the way. That's a great way of looking at things. Ilm, and ilm. Learn and learn. Because without the ilm, the concepts, the understanding is so vague. So sometimes we just let it go because we don't understand. Or sometimes even worse, we follow something we don't understand. So with the ilm, it is easy for us to understand what is almost impossible ayat to understand. As we can see, over 1 billion Muslims are not able to understand due to the ill concept, without the ilm and without the truth.
That's true. Thank you, sir.
Yaliman, sir.
Yeah, Ali Madad.
Sir, I'm trying a question from the verse 2, and I'm trying to understand this where Allah says that Allah will remove all their sins and improve their conditions. Now, I mean, sins are many kind. There are some small sins, and there are bigger sins. It seems like this sin, which is in number 1, it seems like a biggest sin. It's like a top of the list. Seems like it. So I mean, so what sins which Allah will remove from there? But that is the part I'm trying to understand from.
Okay. So for the mu'mineen, it says that he will write off, ignore completely your sins. Only one sin he said he will not write off was which one? Who does not believe in him and does not believe in the truth. meaning who does not believe in what Allah has sent to Muhammad and what Muhammad has given to Ali and what Ali has given to the Ummah, meaning the book of Allah, the Tanzil, the Ayat of Allah, and the Tawil of Ali, who does not believe in that, then all their deeds are no good. And vice versa, who does believe and does righteous deed, this righteous deed is to follow the Imam and follow the truth. Because when you follow the Ali and the Imam, you are saying Ali and Imam are the truth, and therefore Muhammad is the truth. And if Muhammad is truth, therefore Allah is truth. So when you do that, after that, there is no other sin which he will not forgive. There is no other sin after that he will not forgive. Matter of fact, he will help you stay right on the path. Meaning, eventually you will not be committing any sin because you are on the right path with the Imam. So what sin would you be doing, if any? Very minor, right? Because the biggest sin was not to believe in him. Every other sin can be forgiven. Every other sin can be forgiven. G. On the same line, in the Quran, you will find 3 ayat. One, Allah will ignore their sin. Second, Allah will wipe away their sin. Third, Allah will convert their sin into the good deeds. How amazing is that? Allah will convert their bad deeds into the good deeds. Just imagine whose bad deed Allah will convert into good deeds. So you see 3 levels of people. First, Allah will ignore their sin. Second, He will wipe away their sin. Third, He will convert their sin into the good deeds. We need to get to the 3rd level, inshallah. G. All right, we got about 4 more minutes. Last comment, last question.
I have a comment, but I can wait if somebody else has one more pressing comment. I guess not.
Okay.
So just to expand from this a little bit in terms of what we've learned, and maybe just another way of looking at it from a different side, but related to this is, so this comment, this topic about the neck, what I find interesting is, when you think of even in general terms, usually they will say, in any battle or in life in general, but always protect your neck, right? Protect your neck. And, there's also some, like I mentioned earlier, there's some Ismaili literature which will expand on this. And it talks about where the tawil here of the neck, at first it seems like it says that the neck is your imam because of the reasons you mentioned, that how it, for example, we take the food and nourishment from our mouth to our body, the passageway that connects, that keeps the rest of the body alive, is that neck. So that's the place that you can receive nourishment from the head to the body. But interestingly, that in those same commentaries, although it seems like it says the imam is your neck, actually it also refers to the imam as the head, and your neck is your spiritual, your connection to the imam, the place that connects you to the imam. And we look at this verse not so much as other people, but the idea of protecting your neck. I think we could say that whenever we're going through life and there's so much knowledge to learn from, and sometimes we're encouraged to, why don't you learn about something else? Why you always, don't just learn about your own religion. The first thing and primary thing and continuous thing throughout our life should be to protect our neck, which means always keep a strong hold or very good knowledge on what is our knowledge from our imam. What is our beliefs? What do we believe? And then, of course, you can read others. But if you don't protect your neck, you're leaving yourself open to attack, right? I mean, the attack here is potentially reading something, learning something that was going to harm you because it's not from your head, the head of your religion. So that connection between you and your mom should be protected and honored and safeguarded, that you're going to continuously learn that ilm, which always keeps a strong connection between you and your mom before trying to read other, religious material for whatever reasons. Protect your neck first.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Thank you, everyone. Then if you have any question, you can still send it to us, or you can ask in our next class whenever we get together. Thank you, everyone. Yali Madad, Yali Madad,
Yeah, Ramadan.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad,
Thank you, sir.
Ya
Yeah.
limited, sir.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad, Yali Madad, Yali Madad,
Ya limited.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad,
يا لمداد
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.